It's okay. We are live now. So welcome back to the fourth Blogger Roundtable ever, and we have 3 people here today. We have Caitlyn from College with Caitlyn. We have Cristina from Cristina Was Here, and we have Kayla from Kayla Blogs. So I'm very excited. And we have some awesome user or reader questions submitted for us to talk about. So yeah. Hold on, I have to pull up the questions again. So
do we get any more since you sent the first questions?
I think so.
Cool. I think some more people would hopefully submit some.
Oh, that's smart. I think I'm gonna go retweet what the last one that she put. Let's see.
I think we have like 7 or something now. So that's exciting. 7.
Cool.
Okay. So I guess we can get started on those. So the first one was how to get more views and subscribers, and I think this was coming from like a newbie kind of blogger, because I feel like most new bloggers and like people focus more on numbers and stuff. So does anyone want to start with that?
I can start because I wrote my answers down. So I'll give you guys time to think if you need it. So for me, like, I guess what I would say is it's a lot of luck, or at least it was for me, to get a lot of views and subscribers. I think consistency is pretty key when it comes to gaining a lot of followers. But for me, it was Pinterest and just making sure that I have pinnable images on my posts, and like good YouTube thumbnails. If you're talking about YouTube, like, I think that makes such a huge difference in like getting people to come to view your content, because that's like the first thing people see. So yeah, and then like utilizing SEO for your blog, I think helps a lot, even though I don't personally know a lot about it. I try to make sure the dot is green for all my posts, and like that's about it. So I think just like, you know, utilizing your social media and just making your posts stand out, I think, is the biggest key to gaining followers, subscribers, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like times 10 to everything that Kayla said, because once you learn that and once you nail that down, it's not an overnight difference, but within a few weeks, you can really see your numbers change, and you can see people looking at your posts or following you on social media that weren't there before. But I think it took me a long time to get to that place, because I didn't take the time to really learn about blogging and everything that came with it. So I think for me, what it was for the first few months was the fact that I believed so much in what I was doing, and I think I had a good attitude about it. Like me, you know, unashamedly putting my stuff out there and asking people to read it. I think just the fact that I was like kind of being my biggest cheerleader, it had other people thinking like, oh, okay, well then I really want to check out what she's writing, because I definitely just didn't know what I was doing in terms of SEO and like pictures and photography, but that is super important. So I think the sooner you learn that, the better. So to take time to really, you know, like get on Pinterest and get on YouTube and, you know, watch some tutorials so that you know, but also just to believe in what you're doing 100% and kind of exude that confidence on your blog and social media.
I would definitely have to agree that Pinterest is like a huge starting point, because when I first started blogging a little over a year ago, I just like put everything on like my personal. Hey, I started a blog. This is what I posted about this week. You guys should read it. And like a couple of my friends would read it and stuff. Like other than that, I wasn't getting any traffic, because like no one was just gonna search for what I was writing about. And so I started putting stuff on Pinterest. And then I started using like a free trial of Board Booster, and which would like loop my pins or schedule them out. And that's when I started noticing a lot more traffic. And whenever my free trial ended, my views like dropped tremendously, because I wasn't putting anything really on Pinterest. And then when I relaunched my blog, like I signed up and I'm paying for Board Booster now, and like every day I can see that my views are going up. a lot more than what they were when I wasn't using Pinterest.
I would also say it's just like creating original content and just like staying true to like yourself, like everyone's been saying. And there's a difference between having a lot of like readers and all that stuff, but having like people who don't really care, you know? It's like the whole like Instagram versus or like followers versus like engagement kind of thing. Like I'd rather have smaller numbers but have a lot of my readers and like followers and stuff engage and like I'm, you know, connecting with them than have these crazy stats that I don't even know my, you know, followers and stuff. So I think that's my take on it. Okay, so the next one was a plugin that's similar to Jetpack, which I don't know. Do you guys know what that is? I'm sure you do.
I have Jetpack, but I honestly can't remember what it does, and I don't really know what would be similar to that.
I don't
not very helpful with that question.
I know I have it.
I've always had luck with just Googling these questions and finding them within WordPress forums. Like, I don't know if this user is on WordPress, but somebody always has the same question as you out there, and they've asked it, and you can like just kind of scroll through and see if their question has been answered. Because yeah, that's usually what I do, is I just like Google and hope that a WordPress forum comes up. Or Pinterest can be helpful too. Sometimes there's like another blogger has probably answered this question and she probably has her post on Pinterest. So I would check there.
That's good advice. Okay, the next one was kind of interesting because I've never thought about doing this, but should they separate their Pinterest, like blog's Pinterest account from their own, or should they just have one account and use them for both?
I've always thought about this because I just, like I had a personal one, and when I started a blog, I just started posting everything on my Pinterest account. But then like when I read all of these like articles and stuff about like how to have a good like blog secret if they have nothing to do with your life. Like I had a like that blog may not care about those things. So like just today I was going through and I was like making things that weren't relevant to my blog secret boards, so I still have them because I'm too lazy to make a whole new Pinterest account.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote down. I just said I use the same Pinterest, but I made all my irrelevant boards secret. I didn't see the value in starting from scratch on Pinterest. Like I already pinned a lot of stuff, and it's like me. So like, I don't know. I just made a separate board for my blog, and I pinned all my blog posts there and whatever. But yeah, I think that is the best way.
Yeah, because I started my Pinterest account when I was like a junior in high school, so I don't know, ages ago. And so I started it at a time when Pinterest was so popular. So I actually had like a good handful of followers on there, and I was like, I don't want to lose that. So I just made secret boards, made a board for my blog, pinned my post, got on Board Booster. And so I think for this person, they should probably just anything that doesn't have to do with their blog. So they could have like a cooking board, like a dessert board, maybe categorize it by food types or something like that. And then just make whatever is a relevant secret.
That's a good idea. I need to do that. Okay, so this was like a popular one, but it's how do you balance college with blogging? And I know we answer that all the time, I feel like, and we all have different answers, so it's a kind of a hard question too.
All right, I'll go first. So basically I just said like planning is key, which as it is with everything. Brainstorm ideas when you have them and as often as you can, because when you're focusing on school and all that stuff, I feel like you're not really in that creative mindset as much, at least for me. So when I have like a brain dump of all these post ideas, it makes blogging so much easier because I already have that idea. All I have to do is write the post. And just like marking time out for blogging and just for me, it took a while for me to be okay with taking a break from blogging. Like when classes get crazy, I just felt like I was letting everybody down if I didn't post. So I was like, okay, well, if I can post like once a week, then like that's okay. So I think, you know, just letting yourself not stress about blogging, because like at this point, school is your number one priority. Like blogging is cool and everything, and I love it, and I'm sure whoever asked this question loves it too, but like school is a priority. So I think just trying not to stress about blogging as much helps, because then you want to blog when you can. Like you don't make it this stressful thing, like then you won't, I don't know, it'll be harder for you to blog and like get into it, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I did, and this you have to be careful about because you don't want to let blogging take over your life. You want to like still have a social life, still, you know, do your classes and everything like that. But I treated my day like a 9-to-5 job. So I got up in the morning and got ready, and I typically have early classes, but I started this around my sophomore year. Like when I would get back from class around 11 or so, I would start working on blog stuff, and I would take like a lunch break, 30 minutes. Like I'd go eat something and like read a book, and then I'd come back and I would work until like 5 p.m. And that was at a really pivotal point for me in blogging, where I was really growing my blog, and that's when it really took off because I devoted the time to it. And you have to be diligent about it though, because there were definitely nights when I was like still on my laptop at 6 p.m. and like my boyfriend or my friends were like, what are you doing? Like, come on, let's do something. So it was all about balance. But when you treat it like that and you schedule things like, you know, I need to pin my post on Pinterest, or I need to take pictures, and I would put that in my planner and be like, okay, from 3 to 4, I'm doing this. And also having a planner, just side note, or some method of keeping track of what you need to do for blogging and school and extracurriculars, whatever it is. That way you get everything done. But if you're really serious about it, and it's something that you really love, then you want to devote time to it. So I think if you just kind of schedule it like you would a class or a meeting, then it'll get done. So.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that, you know, gets to class like 20 minutes early because I'm paranoid about being late. And so I always take like those 20 minutes or whatever before class, and I'll sit there and do all of like the tedious things that I don't want to do whenever like I'm in my room and Netflix is there. So like pinning things on Pinterest, or like planning tweets out and stuff like that, like all of those little tiny tedious tasks. It's amazing how much you can get knocked out in 20 minutes before class starts. So I feel like that's how I get that stuff done. And then I just always make sure to, like, there are times when I don't want to write posts, and like that's the last thing I want to do. So I make sure to have like kind of some stockpiled, you know. So if I'm running low on ideas, or I just really don't want to write a post that day, I'll have something ready, and all I have to do is make some images for it.
I get too excited. I finish a post and I'm like, okay, can I post this right now? Like this week, like tomorrow?
I go through phases.
I'm so bad
like
at that.
right now,
that's why I never schedule posts.
Yeah, like right now I have all of my posts pretty much written. Like some of them need pictures and links and stuff for like July, which is really weird. But then there will be days where there'll be like 3 months where I'm just randomly kind of putting something up last minute. So I think you have to play with the seasons of your life, and like sometimes you're busy. You know, like Kayla was saying, it's okay to take a break and step back. I have never had somebody like email me or contact me and be like, I cannot believe we didn't post today. Like I was waiting for it. I really I don't do that with bloggers. I don't know when they post. Like I get excited when they do, but I'm not like sitting there like, oh, it's 7 a.m. and it's Tuesday and they post. So like the world won't end if you don't get it up, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's such a good outlook. I've never heard it like that before.
That's part of the reason why like I never really felt pressure to have a schedule. Like I feel like I say I have a schedule because everybody else says they have a schedule, but I really don't because I never follow it. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's Wednesday. I'll post something now. But like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm such a
I feel like I can't.
Has to schedule.
Exactly. Like if it's not scheduled, it won't get done. That's
like if I'm going to on this day, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah, so I think that's another thing is I think you have to know what works best for you, because some bloggers will schedule. Like I have posted Mondays and Thursdays at 7 a.m. for the longest time, and I don't think anybody like knows that or cares, but it's more so for me because then I have like, okay, I have to get this done here. But then there are some bloggers who they just happen to do something really fun over the weekend, or they happen to like take a picture of their outfit or whatever it is, and then they post it on Monday or Tuesday. So I think you just have to like be really honest with yourself and figure out what method's going to work best for you, and then just stick with that. Like it doesn't really matter what anybody else does.
And I feel like also incorporating things that are going on in your life, like during that time. So like if it's midterms, like write something about midterms if you're like a college blogger, or like stuff like that, because that's going to make it easier for you to come up with ideas, you know? So
I think that's a good segue to our next question.
How to get out of a blogging slump.
Because like that's basically all I wrote was like, I don't know. I wrote more things like that, but basically like, I wrote a post in 2014 about this topic actually, and it's literally called How to Get Out of a Blogging Slump. But basically my 3 things that I said were post whatever ideas you have, because like you never know if someone will be interested in it. I think a lot of people, they have ideas, but they're just like, that's not a good blog post, I'm not going to do that. So I think just getting out of that mindset and just posting it anyway really helps. Second thing, read your favorite blogs. Go on Pinterest, go on Lovin, do all that stuff, because you'll get inspiration from other people and you'll be like, hey, they wrote about this, I could write about that, and it could be a cool post. And then my third thing was just like write about what's relevant, write about whatever stage of life you're in, and it's amazing like what kind of posts you come out of that. Like I didn't think I was, well, I guess I did, but like I didn't really think I was going to do all these posts about like getting into grad school or like applying to grad school, but like that's what I'm thinking about right now. That's what I'm dealing with, and I have so many post ideas now because of it. Like you said, with midterms coming up, write about midterms. You're buying a house, write about buying a house. Like pretty much all those things can be turned into blog posts. So I think you just have to look at your life as an outsider perspective and be like, okay, if someone didn't know me and they're like seeing me do all these things, like they might want to know how this is happening, like how everything is going on, how I'm doing this. So yeah, I think those are my 3 things I wrote in 2014, still relevant today.
Another thing that you could do is like you could ask your friends like what are like, or just think about questions your friends have asked you. Like if they're asking you for advice about a certain topic, write about that. Or if people are always asking you like, I can't even think of anything right now, but something to do with like your personality or something, then, or like just the way you do things, then write about that. Like, because I have some.
Yeah, write about what you're an expert in, like Abigail with her fitness.
Yeah. Like I think if you could go through like your inbox or your DMs or your Instagram comments and see if anybody has left a question. Like if somebody was like, oh, could you tell me some good books to read or podcasts or whatever it is, and then that might help. And I think like Kayla said, you know, you can't shy away from the post that you think like, oh, I don't know if anybody will read that, because somebody will read that, and it's going to be the post that helps your creative juices get flowing again. It might not be the best post that you've ever written or like the one that got the most views, but if you allow yourself to write it and just post it, people will read it, and it'll kind of like get the ball rolling. Patience with yourself too, because like we were saying in the previous question, just I feel, do you not like your blogging schedule? Are you not really happy with like the content that you've been putting out? Do you want to try something new? Do you want to update your blog? And then maybe be like, okay, I'm going to take a week and I'm going to make these little changes, and then I'm going to come back like good and running. Self-reflection time. And then yeah, post something. Don't be afraid to post something like fun either. Sometimes I really like to think about what I would want to read, and sometimes I just want to read a post where somebody shares like movies that they like. And it may not be the coolest thing ever, but somebody out there wants to know what movies you like.
Yeah.
Or like your makeup products that you use, you
Yeah.
know, like just random stuff like that.
Yeah, all the time I'll be going through Lovin, and I'll be like, oh, I really want to read this. And then I'll be like, but I would never write something like this, but yet I want to read it for someone else. So I'm always just like, I should actually write that then if I want to read someone else writing it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. There are the last two questions that like just came in are very good. So the first one is, when is it a good time to go self-hosted versus keeping a free blog? And then like, is there like a good way to know when you should make that transition? And then the next one, which could tie into the question before, is how did you take the first steps to make money from your blog? So.
Okay, well, I just went self-hosted, but mine's a little different because I went from Wix to WordPress, which was the hardest thing ever. So don't ever start Wix, ever. But I guess it depends, because I guess if you start on WordPress like for free and then switch to WordPress self-hosted, I think it'd be a lot easier. Because isn't there like a transfer thing that have you guys done that or no?
Yeah,
There was one for Blogger. I was going through my plugins the other day, and I found that it's still there. Like it transfers your post from Lovin to WordPress. It's like some plugin.
Yeah, WordPress has that too.
Yeah.
I guess like you have to really, if you really want to blog, I mean, if you really, really want to blog anyways, I would just go ahead and start self-hosted. Like if you are already so invested in it that you want to start one.
Yeah, and if you just
otherwise
your hosting plan, like what's like $50, you know, honestly, because you don't know what that could turn into, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess my advice is a little different because like I wouldn't switch to self-hosted until you've been blogging like pretty consistently for at least like 6 months, I would say, because I think there are a lot of people who start a blog and then they're like, wait, I don't really like this, or wait, this doesn't fit with my schedule. I don't have time for this. And you know, it can be a pretty pricey investment, I guess. I started off, the only purchase I made with my blog was my domain. So I was always kaylablogs.com, like from the very beginning almost. So like I would say if you want to make it legit from the get-go, I would do that. And then once you feel like you are seriously and it's something that you really love and something that you're going to be consistent with, I would then like look into doing self-hosted or something. And also like if you're at that point, I feel like you're also at the point where you're like, okay, I want to start making money or putting up ads or joining blog networks or something. And then that's I think if you're going to start doing that, you need to really, really strongly consider being self-hosted if you're going to start making money, because like that's a big step. And like my story was kind of weird. So like, I guess 2 years ago, I was working in Pittsburgh at a desk job. And for most of the desk job, I spent making my blog better, which like I feel like my employer would not be very happy about. But at that time, like I was getting my work done, but I had a computer at my disposal and I was just getting really into blogging. And I wrote my very first planner post at that desk while I was on the clock at this job. So I feel like I owe a lot to them. But at that time, then I also was like, okay, I switched to self-hosted probably during work hours as well. And I did all that stuff, and I started applying to, like, I think my first one I ever applied to was the, it's now the Influencer Collective, but it was yeah. So that was the very first one I ever applied to. And then from there, I basically wrote in I have it right here. I have like a blog notebook from May Designs. I've had one for like 3 years, I guess. I get a different one each year, but that year I wrote down every single, like, what are they called? The collective things, what are they called? Blog influencer networks or whatever. Yeah. I wrote down every single one I wanted to be in and what the requirements were. So like one of them was like, you had to hit 30,000 views a month in order to get accepted. So I wrote like, I think that was for Clever Girls. Like, Clever Girls, you need this many views and like this is their website or whatever. And once I got to that milestone and I still wanted to apply, I did. So like that's really where I got my start. And then yeah, pretty much since then, that's where I've made all my money is through those. I'm trying to like branch out now, but yeah, that's kind of my story of how it happened. I basically, during work, I did blogging. So, well, that's all right.
I was like, I think I've been blogging for like a year and a half before I self-hosted. And that was just because, well, it so happened that at that time I wanted to rebrand and I wanted to change the name of my blog. And it was right before I went to my first blog conference. So I think what it was just like Kayla was saying, once you start to make these big steps, it kind of clues you that you also need to be making that step for self-hosting, because I had literally like a couple weeks until I was going to this conference, which obviously like I paid for. I was traveling out of state for it. So I was like, okay, this is like the real deal. And same thing, I was applying to influencer networks. I was trying to monetize my blog. I was being more serious about Pinterest. I was working on it like 6 hours a day. So it just kind of made sense. So I guess you kind of know when you should. And then just for a side note, I started off on Blogspot, like the free blogger, and I switched to WordPress. I love WordPress. The switch was not fun, but just something happened. There was like a fluke thing. So mine was like, none of my posts went over. So I like stayed up all night, like manually posting. And I didn't do all of them though. Like I only went back like 6 months. So, but I put some stuff there. So yeah, it is a pain, but it's very worth it. Like I would do it all again. But I don't want to. So.
I remember when you were Cristina on campus.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, I guess you realize I was like, I don't want to be a Cristina on campus forever because I didn't live on campus anymore either. So it didn't really make sense. And I knew I wanted this for like a long time. Like I don't see me ever like not blogging. I'm gonna be like a mom blogger and like. So,
me too.
Yeah.
That's
in a little blogger town, right? You know?
Yes. Because we're all gonna be. I can't wait for all of us to like keep blogging forever, and then like we all grow up, and then we're like mom bloggers. Like all of us college bloggers become mom bloggers. It's gonna be so great.
So I realized that if I wanted that, I needed to make the move.
Yeah, and that's why like I started off with like college in my name. I think I don't even know what I was. I was like, I honestly feel like I was Kayla on campus. I'm not even kidding. When I think
you told me that.
I really think I was. And then I made like a graphic and like I had my blog up and then I changed it and then I brought my domain. And for the longest time, I felt like I was so lame for my name being Kayla Blogs. But now I see all these girls that are like, their name blogs. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not lame. Maybe I started the trend. I don't know. But because I could never think of a good enough name. Like I sometimes wish I had a better name. Like I love like how the college prepster has her like logo, and I can't come up with one. I was like trying to figure out business cards yesterday, and I'm like KB would be what it is, but like I can't figure out anything like trendy to do for a logo. I'm like pissed about it, but whatever. I need to like hire someone that's a professional on that.
I agree with the name thing. Sometimes people think that mine is like a middle-aged blogger, like, because it has the word gray in it, but no.
Oh.
I think that's funny.
That's funny though. You could be like a grandma blogger then.
I mean, I'm a grandma at heart, so maybe.
Exactly. You can like blog about knitting.
Oh, I did do a crochet post, like one of my first posts, so.
Yep, you're halfway
maybe
there.
That's what's
halfway to the grandma blog.
Oh, I know I didn't become self-hosted until like I was like a year into blogging and then most networks and stuff, like to make money, you can't be on a WordPress.com like blog. You have to be self-hosted. So I had made it a year, and I knew that if I'd made it a year, then like I apparently really loved it. So I invested in a couple years of hosting and manually transferred everything, and it was,
Yeah,
It is what it is now.
I don't know. I try not to judge, but if people are starting off self-hosted, it's probably because they want to make money right from the get-go. And
that's true.
You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You have to love blogging first before you take the plunge into that. Because otherwise you might be successful, but maybe not in the way that you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't just start because you have money or something. No. You have to actually love it because it's a lot of work, and it's just like any other job basically. Like, and if you don't like it, you're not going to want to do it, and you're not going to make money.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much work like actually goes into it, you know? Like I was writing a post today, I think the last post I wrote, it took me like 3 hours, and I was like, this is insane. But I mean, it wasn't like work, you know? It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, the posts that are always the easiest for me to write, it just blows my mind. Like for my GRE post, it was like over 1,000 words, and it only took me like an hour to write because I just love writing so much. I'm like, why can't any of my college papers not taking this long? Like, this is not fair.
I kind of have a question. I know, Cristina, you've worked with like a lot of different brands, and I know you've mentioned like in the past, like you don't work with brands that I know like a lot of like the rest of us work with. You kind of do you reach out to them like on your own and stuff like that? And how do you find them? Like, I just want to know.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I guess I do reach out to a lot of them because I didn't end up joining many influencer networks, or I guess I did, but maybe within the past year or so, I've kind of like strayed away from the typical. I guess I'm still part of them. I'm just like not very active. And I think the only reason behind it is because I just wanted a little bit more freedom. I wanted a little bit more creativity, and I wanted to be able to create really whatever I wanted. Like, I don't know, I was like kind of being a bit of a rebel. Like, I just want to do something different, and I want to write about stuff. But sometimes I'm writing a post, and you know, it's like, it's not a sponsored post, it's nothing like that, but I'm just writing it. I'm writing like about something that's going on in my life. And as I'm writing, I kind of realized that it would be really helpful if I had a brand to showcase, like, I don't know, if I'm talking about like natural skincare stuff, and that's just me, I'm really passionate about it and I'm writing about it, but I really want to be able to send people somewhere. So sometimes it happens like that, where I kind of get that inspiration as I'm writing. And then I just honestly think of a brand that I've had a good relationship with, because that way I feel more comfortable like sharing it with everybody else, because I wouldn't want to have never heard of them or never tried it and tell everybody that they should get it. So a lot of times it's a store I really love or a brand I really love, and I reach out to them. And how I do that's one thing that I kind of like spent time researching on. I basically have like different email templates kind of depending on the brand. And for the most part, it's really like off the cuff and free-handed, but I do make sure to send them a nice email. I have a media kit that I update every few months or so, or like when I think of it. When I send it out, I realize that it's pretty dated, and then I quickly go on Canva and like update it, which I did that this morning too, because I was about to send them like a year-old media kit, and I was like, I don't think this is right. So yeah, sometimes when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I find a brand I really like. You know, I feel like we all have like those little boutiques that we follow. And I think another tip is I like to help other small businesses. I'm passionate about shopping local, and I have a lot of friends that have kept up with me through high school and watched me start my blog, and they've started like some kind of crafting business, or they make candles, or they make quilts. And so I have those relationships still. So sometimes they'll come to me, or I'll come to them and reach out about collaborating. So I think the best thing to do is go find a blogger who has done a post on how to reach out to brands. And she might even have like downloadable templates for you. So then all you have to do is plug in your information and send that out. And like the literal worst thing that they can say is no, or they cannot email you back, and that's it. Like there's really nothing to it. And so I write these posts, and a lot of times I'm totally cool if it doesn't turn out that it's going to be sponsored or that it's going to be with a brand. But if I have a brand in mind, I'll just go ahead and email them anyway, just to see if it would work out.
I just want to say there's one post about how to reach out to brands. I think it's mostlyMorgan.com. It was the most in-depth thing I've ever read, and it's really, really long, but as I said, it's the most in-depth and like most helpful thing I've ever read. And if you really want to like reach out to brands, check out that post.
I think my stuff is all from Helene in between. Like, she did a free webinar, like, oh my gosh, 2 years ago. I was like a sophomore in college, and I watched that. And so, and then like if you signed up, you got these like a PDF document with the free. Yeah, and I still use it. Like, I mean, I always kind of change it up because sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I would write like that. And I always include samples of my work. So let's say if I email like a beauty company, if I've done another kind of beauty post that was sponsored, I go ahead and send them the link to that as well in the email, just so that they can actually like check me out, see that I'm legit, see if like how I write kind of works with their style. So yeah.
Literally about to start taking notes. I'm not even joking.
Okay, so we probably have time for like 2 or 3 more questions, but I just remembered one that I got in an email, and this girl emailed me asking about privacy policies and having those on your blog, and like, is that important? Should you have one? Like, how did you come up with yours if you do have one, and all that stuff? So, I mean, I told her it was probably necessary if you are going to be like self-hosted, and it's probably just a good idea to have one in general. If you're going to be like,
What was the question?
Privacy policies, like,
Sorry.
Do you have one? Why do you have one?
Yeah,
Should you have one?
I have one because I felt like my blog would be illegal if I didn't have one. I pulled mine up when I read that question because I was like, I have one, but I don't think I've ever actually like read through it all word for word. So I read through it, and I mean, it sounds legit. It's basically just like if you have a newsletter and people are putting their email in your blog, I would have one because that's like personal information you're taking from someone. So yes, I would have one. But I literally just copied mine from privacypolicies.com. Literally is what is in it. Says this policy was created with privacypolicies.com. And you can kind of just like tweak it to what you know your website is getting information from. I know a lot of people have probably copied the one that's on my blog because I've literally seen it like word for word how mine looks and like the stuff I took out of it and whatnot, but like that's fine. One like just in case shit goes down, like just in case something goes down, I would have that because like I don't know if that is like legal and can actually cover your butt, but I would just have it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think when in doubt,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say yes, when in doubt, like if you're questioning something, because nowadays because blogging was a relatively new industry, so I think a lot of people have let a lot of things slide because they don't know. But now that it's so mainstream, I don't know if it's the FTC or I don't know. I should know, but and I don't have a privacy policy, but yeah, I want to get one because if anything, just to make me feel more legit.
Just switch the blogs to Cristina here, and you're good.
No, whenever I was
this is my legal advice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Well, like, did you guys see Hannah from the Swirl Blogs, her tweet from, I don't know what it was, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, like, she said make sure to like put whatever hashtag ad in all of your posts because you'll get fined.
Oh yeah, no, that's
yeah. Do we know? I don't know. Did she get fined? Do we know that?
No, I don't know. I just think like it was recently. Well, not recently. Actually, it was probably about a year ago. But there was a I don't know if it was Nordstrom or ASOS or some brand sent like a ton of bloggers, like all the big popular bloggers, this dress. The brand got in huge trouble because they didn't specifically tell the bloggers to disclose that it was an ad. And some of the bloggers just kind of knew better and like put it. But that showed up in like my marketing textbook, like an intro to, I'm sitting in intro to marketing, I'm like flipping through and we're having a discussion about this. I'm like, oh, I follow this girl on Instagram or like whatever it was. So I think if anything, like I know I do it because I really would rather be upfront with everybody, because I want somebody to, because if, I don't know, if somebody's not okay with buying something that I've like, you know, been paid to tell them about, then I always want them to know that I was paid to tell them about it. But no, it is FTC regulation that you need to do. So I think if you just get in the habit of it, just like you would any other little blogging task, then you'll be fine, and like you'll just do it and you won't think about it.
Yeah, it's hard to, I think it's hard to remember sometimes, like especially if you're just like shooting out a tweet or something with a link, but like even that, like you need to have it, or like hashtag SP, hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored or spawn, just like any of those things are good.
Or all of them.
But I think I've heard a lot of people, bloggers, like get like tweet kind of witchy things at people for not putting it when they like know that it is sponsored but they don't say it. I just think that like it's just better safe than sorry. Just always have it. And now I think they want it to be like the very first thing in your caption, not even at the end. I always put it as like the first hashtag, but now brands are telling me to put it like the very first thing in the caption, like before even your caption begins. So I just pay attention to the specifics from the brand if they give you any.
Yeah. With affiliate links, so in your blog, like if you have them on your blog post, do you have to have it like in that blog post that are affiliate links, or can you just have it like in somewhere else on your site that like, oh, I have a lot of affiliate links?
I would put it at the top or in the caption, like if you're doing like an outfit post and you have all the things linked, I would put like at the top, like in like parentheses, like affiliate links.
I just don't know like what you're supposed to do, if that's just what people do. That's what I need to figure out.
I would put it more than might even be necessary. I would just make sure that you're always covered. I mean, even with my day designer stuff, like I didn't used to always put that it was affiliate, but now like anytime I link it in a blog post, I put in parentheses affiliate link, at least just the first time I put it in. So yeah.
I make sure, like, you know how like look on your homepage and you have like post previews and stuff, and then you can like click to read more. I always have it in that post preview. Like it's the last thing you see before you click read more. So that way when you click read more, you have to see that, you know, basically it's sponsored. And so that way it appears there, and then it's also in the post too. So
yeah. And if you think about it as like you're doing a service to your readers and you're being really real with them, because when I first saw people posting like hashtag ad, I didn't know that they had to do that. I thought they were just trying to be like real with me. And I was like, okay, she's cool because she's like just being really upfront with me. So if anything, that's a whole added bonus that you're being like genuine, I guess. But no, I don't know how they really monitor it. But I don't know. I'd say it's kind of like speeding. Like even if you don't see a cop, like you try not to go like 20 miles over the speeding limit. could be dangerous. I don't know. So
be safe than sorry, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, so another question came in, and it said, how do you get paid for sponsored posts, and how do you sign a contract with, and do you sign a contract with the brand to ensure they follow through? And I think, and I think that they're thinking, because most of us go through like affiliate networks and stuff like that, but some of us don't work directly with brands, so I don't have any like direct brand experience per se with a contract.
I'm working on something right now with the planner post, and I just kind of drafted my own contract based on other ones that I've seen. I think it's just important to outline what you expect from them, what they should expect from you, and then like any payment options. And I always do payment through PayPal, like the friends and family, so there are no like fees or anything, for me at least. So yeah.
I think it's because I don't do through like affiliate programs, so I actually started noticing some brands sending me contracts, and I was like, oh, that's kind of legit. And like Kayla said, now you could probably go on Pinterest and find a template that you can draft up, but essentially you are covering your butt, because I think everybody might have like a story or two about a time where they were kind of dissatisfied with working with a brand. Maybe the brand was like, yeah, we're gonna share your post to our Twitter, and like they never did. And it's awkward for you to have to email them and be like, hey, I thought you were gonna share my post. So just having that contract up front is gonna be really simple. They know what you want, and then you know what they want, because maybe they're like, you need to link to this page, or you need to like tag us on Twitter, whatever it is. It's another like better safe than sorry type of thing, just to have it in writing. And I don't know what the first part of that question was.
How do you get paid for sponsored posts?
Oh, yeah. I guess they mean like logistically, how do you get paid? And I use PayPal as well. I don't think I've ever used anything else. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all the questions that I have that people submitted. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about, mention, stuff like that?
I don't know. I feel like I've been like out. I feel like when it's summer, I'm not on like break, because I've actually been blogging a lot more. But maybe that's a question, is like, if you're a college blogger, how do you find stuff to post about over the summer? Because I kind of get a little sad when school's out, because I'm so excited for August. I love back to school content, and I got really sad thinking about it, because this is my last back to school season. Like, I graduate in May, and I'm not doing like grad school, at least not that
I'm so glad I'm going to grad school for that reason. I'm like, I'm can't wait to my first back to school for grad school post. Like,
I know. I'm so glad. And like, I'm excited to transition into the world of like, okay, let me talk about getting your first job, and like, let me talk about career stuff. But still, I love back to school, and I love just like study tips and productivity. Those are just some of my favorite posts to write. So when it's summer, I kind of freeze up for a second, and I'm like, wait, what do I write about? Like, I just want to write about school, which is kind of nerdy, but I don't know. I think that's maybe a question I pose to you guys, is, you know, how do you find, because I know all of us do college related posts. So what do you do over the summer? How do you get inspiration?
When I was trying to think of what to post this summer, I was like, just do a reader's guide. Yes. And people who, like incoming freshmen, they're going to be looking up stuff about college way before August. They're looking July at the latest. So I was like, I can probably start posting about school stuff in July. Like, they won't care. They're going to, and if it's too early, then it'll have built up on Pinterest, and people will see it by the time it has more views and stuff. So
I feel that.
I guess the only time we don't post about college would be in like June. That's it. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I'm working with a rifle paper company for like a planner giveaway thing. So if you want a 15% off discount code, I'll send that to you. They go live July 10th. So I'm probably gonna do a post about that in like July. So I mean, I know when I was a freshman in college, I like had bought a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
In like May, just like 3 months before I started college. So I
literally
know
right before this,
looking.
Comforter for my dorm for next year, and like I don't move in for like 2 months. Like, what?
That's true.
Yeah. I feel that.
yeah, I don't really know. I usually just post about whatever is going on. Only thing I really have set in stone for the summer is my planner post. So, and I knew that was going to be
doing that. When is like a good time? Because I actually have a planner post. I don't know if I'm going to include other planners in there too, but I have one that was sent to me. The planner doesn't start until August 1st. So I guess
I usually put up mine in like mid-July, because like if you're looking for an academic planner, you want one that starts in August, you'll probably order it before August. So
because they sell out like crazy, especially the really popular ones. I did, my Erin Condren planner did really well last year, even though I didn't put it up till, it was like the first week of school. So it was like mid-August. But it's still, I don't know. I think some people, like my sister, will like go a couple months and then realize that she probably should have gotten a planner and then get one. But no, that's true. That's another thing is I think a tip that I learned was to see what magazines are posting about, because magazines are like ahead of the game or like seasonally. But to them, that's right on time. So, you know, it's like when you go to the grocery store in October and they have like Christmas stuff and you're like, why do they have Christmas stuff? But people will buy it. So it's like if you, you know, right now you can start writing about college stuff because people are searching for it. So I guess that's what I'm going to, now I really want to like brainstorm and I want to stay up all night writing posts, but I won't. Then I won't get up tomorrow.
Well, you've been up since like 4:30, right? So.
I have. I'm so tired.
You took a nap, right?
I did take a nap. This is so funny. You guys know my whole life.
I actually just watched your story before this happened, so
Yeah.
I was going through everyone's stories.
The funny thing is if I did stay up really late tonight, I would probably still wake up at the crack of dawn because I have like the worst internal alarm clock. But that helps too for blogging. Like if you're an early riser or if you're a late night person, like those hours where like your friends are sleeping, so there's really nothing for you to do. That's a good time to get blogging stuff done for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've almost been doing this an hour, so
Yeah.
does anyone have any final words before we say goodbye until next month? Hopefully, crossing my fingers, I remember.
Sure you remember.
Read our blog, everyone watching.
Everything will be linked below. So
How many watchers did we even have?
we had like upwards of 8 at one point. So that's exciting. I know.
And this is on your YouTube, right? Like
Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll be up tomorrow morning or later tonight, hopefully. So yeah.
To people that are watching this, if you're watching, you should comment. I don't know. I was gonna say for them to like comment something, but I don't know what to say.
If you're watching it live.
Yeah, you're the real deal.
We'll just all tweet out like the same emoji, and then the people that are watching this will know to like comment.
We'll understand. Yeah. Which one should we do?
Emoji.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's do a weird one that people don't use a lot.
I'm trying to see.
They'll be so confused.
Okay.
What if we did the old lady one, like the grandma?
Yeah, living the gray life.
Oh my god.
Living the gray life. Yeah, I think we should do that one.
Yeah, the old lady.
Just do nothing else.
Oh, she's so cute.
I'm putting her like 8,000 times.
Yeah, that's what
I'm gonna count. Wait, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just all 140
I
characters.
did more than you.
That's okay.
Oh man.
Are you guys putting all 140? Is that what you're doing?
No. I did 2 lines.
Like
Oh man.
Yeah, if you're watching this, go retweet all our tweets.
Yeah.
Favorite our tweets.
Oh man.
I gotta find yours now. I gotta retweet them.
They're all at the top for me.
I just favorited my own tweet. That's funny. Oh man.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's so good. I hope everyone's like, what did I miss? Why are they all tweeting that? Like, oh. You guys should watch the Blogger
Roundtable. We can tell them. Isabel retweeted it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Oh my gosh, I have a post to write, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll end that there. Christina, you can go to bed now.
I about that on my Instagram story.
Oh man. All right. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see probably everyone next month. Hopefully, crossing my fingers.
I
All
really
right.
want to do it again. This was fun.
Pause for hope.
Yeah, fixing the microphone and everything. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.